What is up, my anime fighters? It is your boy. Wait 1 second. It is boy. Your god, unfortunately. Back here with a new video for all of you. Today's new video is going to be a continuation of. So, the last plate that we left off was Naruto bringing Choji and Lala's relationship to a good amount, and Ino trying to ruin it because she loves Choji. And this is where I'm going off. In my comments, I seen that you guys didn't like the noise that was on Call of Duty and how noisy it was. I'm having trouble lowering down the volume on it. It's not like I can just do this and the volume would just go away. It's just that if I do that, I'll probably lower my voice, and I don't want to do that to you guys. So, let's get into the video. Ino, you're a slimy bastard. Trying to interfere with someone's love because they don't love you. Naruto, you don't understand nothing. I am a flower. A flower. I can provide him with everything that he wants. It's not like that girl can do anything for him. I'm more thicker. You sound petty. Pedigree. I should slap you in your face right now. Naruto, wait, no! I can be your girl. Shut up, you peasants. I don't like petty people like you. Petty's not my thing. Ino starts breathing heavily. Oh, boys are supposed to like me. Sasuke! And from a distance, you can see Danzo looking up from there, and it's like, I guess Naruto boy is gain a lot of skill. No matter, that skill will be lost after I take everybody that he loves. And this is where Naruto starts to head back. And this is where he sees Hinata stalking him. I never said Hinata was one of those people that hated him. He sees Hinata from the corner of his eyes, and he's like, Hinata, what is she doing? And he noticed that her stealth is she's trying to follow him. He's like, why would she want to follow me? And this is where he acts all oblivious to her following him. So he starts walking. And this is where he sees Hinata is not really good at stealth, because she's not really good at hiding her presence from him, or it's just him. And he's like, well, I guess I should leave her. This is where he acts oblivious and starts walking to his destination. This is where he gets to his house, and he goes in. Hinata says, well, behind her, he's like, can't stalk who? Did those wretched people told you to stalk me? This is where Hinata's like, Naruto-kun! This is where Naruto heard something called kun. He's like, she called me kun. Or she called me dad. And this is where she's like, oh, I'm sorry, Naruto-kun. This is where Naruto's like, no matter. But why are you stalking me? And this is where she starts stuttering and starts turning red. Now Naruto's not oblivious to people's feelings. He knows she's blushing madly. He either thinks she's doing it for someone that she loves or she likes him. This is where he's like, Hinata, would you like to go out with me? Just to test the waters. And this is where she blushes really hard and passes out. It's where Naruto catches her. He's like, she likes me. This is where he's like, well, I guess I would love someone to actually care for me. Besides Choji. This is where he's like, well, I guess I'm gonna be off. Drop her off at her house or drop her off at the Hyuga compound. This is where he's body flickers. No, cause he put a flying Raijin on seal on Hinata, and let's say this flying Raijin seal can move. So if she touched her wall of her bedroom, it would have stuck there. So now Naruto's body flickers to her room. And this is where he's like, this is not bad. If she were to become my wife, I wouldn't mind. This is where he's like, this is where Hinata's about to wake up. This is where he quickly puts her in her bed. And he's like, sweet dreams, princess. Because he has that cheesy look. And then body flickers out of there. Another love to be uncovered. I should call this love the shy in the night. Yeah, the shy in the night. So when Naruto's like, well, not my place. This is not my place anymore. And so when Naruto is like, when she wakes up in 1 hour and walks out her house, I should be there. This is where she's like, in her dream, she's like, Naruto-kun, not here. We can't get married right here. What do you guys think I was doing? Perverts. Like, Naruto-kun. And then this is where Naruto is running with her in his hands like, yes, we can, Hinata. We must escape the Hyugas. We're running. Cheesy, right? This is where they countered some foes on the way. They have to beat the foes or, like, get the foes off them, perhaps. And this is where he's like, Hinata, my dear, I love you and I always will. But I have to do something. Cover your eyes, Hinata dear. Like that. This is where she covers her eyes. And all the bad people that she says is on the floor. Knocked out. Naruto-kun, what did you do? I took care of these enemies. Now let's go get married. And they start running. And that's where she's gonna wake up. She's like, Naruto-kun, yes. Because Naruto is proposed. This is where she realized that she's actually home. And that was all just a dream. She's like, well, I would love that dream to happen one day. This is where she decides to get dressed. No, she's already dressed. Sorry. That would sound too weird. She's like, well, let me go. And this is where she's like, walks out. And then this is where Naruto's, like, in that high school boy where they have their foot against the wall and their other one supporting them on the ground. Like that. Watch any anime and they'll show you that stance. This is where Hinata's like, Naruto-kun? This is where Naruto says, you fainted. Wouldn't like you to catch a fever. So when Hinata kind of catches feelings, or catches a blush. She's like, thank you, Naruto-kun. And so when Naruto decides to be out with it, Hinata, he grabs her chin and puts a seal on her that all flusteredness and goes away. He goes like, Hinata, would you like to go on a date with me? I love you. I hope you know that. Me and you, together, unstoppable force. And I will never let no one touch you or harm you, Hinata. This is where Hinata, out of enjoyment, says, yes, Naruto-kun. Because I said he blocked all flusteredness, but he didn't block all emotion. She says, yes, Naruto-kun. This is where Naruto says, we known each other for a while. Can we get together? She says, yes, I will. So today's our first date. Where you want to go? Wherever you want to go, Naruto-kun. Probably Ichiraku ramen. You know me too well. And I noticed that you like to stalk me. Oh, you noticed? Because he blocked her flusteredness. Yeah. This is where she's like, I'm sorry. I know you like me, so I'm not going to hold it against you. So this is where they start walking and holding hands. The villagers can't know that Hinata, the heir of the Hyuga clan, hanging with the demon, and everybody knows that she's a pride. She's a flower. So they're like, what is a flower? That flower is gonna get damaged. What is it doing with a demon? The devil has consumed her. This is where all the villagers like, what have you done to this girl? This is where they arrive at Ichiraku, and he says, what's up, old man? He's like, Naruto, what's up, my boy? Azumi, come to the front, Naruto's here. In a nice elderly voice. And she's like, coming, father. Because Azumi had feelings for Naruto. So she comes in, and when she sees Hinata and Naruto together, she's kind of enraged. Not to the point where she's gonna do what Ino does, but she's kind of jealous that a girl more beautiful and has more grace than her gets Naruto. This is where she's like, well, Naruto deserves love. That's not my problem. And this is where Kurama's like, he's like, three-way? He's like, what's a three-way, Kurama? Because a love triangle. This is where Kurama says, love triangle. He's like, what's a love triangle, Kurama? And Kurama's like, a love triangle is something that you'll be in very soon. So where Naruto says, tell me what a love triangle is. They want to know. You know, Kurama's like, a love triangle is typically just, and he's like, when three people are loving each other, Kurama, don't you dare spring that on me. And then this is where he's like, wow, she's sucking. Never mind. This is where he's like, well, you'll find very soon find out who else likes you. This is where he looks at Azumi and smiles, and this is where he sees Azumi blush. He's like, "No, Kurama," and he's talking in his head right now. "Kurama, you sly fucking bastard! You should have fucking told me." He's like, "Hey, what's the point of that? Miss all the fun?" "Kurama, I'm gonna kill you once I get out that cage. Once you get out that cage, and when I kill you, there's nothing gonna be left but your bones and body, and you're gonna die." Like, "You can try, but I'm in this cage. Kurama, I am going to rip off your head." And Kurama starts teasing him. He's like, "Stop it, Kurama." That's where he's like, "Well, let's continue on our dates." Smiling, intensely. This is where he's like, they're like, "Naruto-kun, are you okay?" "Yes, I'm fine. I'm doing splendid. Let's continue with our date." And both Hinata and Ayumi know something is wrong, cause Naruto's evil-looking smile is like telling them that this kid mad. This is where he's like, "Well, I guess let's continue." So Naruto's like, "Okay, let's go." Hinata saying, "I'll leave a tip here, old man." Smiling, obviously. It's like, "So bye, old man." And this is where he said, "Bye, Izumi." And this is where, when Naruto and Hinata get farther, Naruto busts a move on her and kisses her on the lips. And so where Hinata decides to join the action and gives him some tongue. I know how wrong that sounds. This is where he's like, "So, Hinata, what's your deal?" This is where wait, oh my god, I'm sorry guys, I was too focused on the game. And this is where when Hinata's giving Naruto some tongue, she has her eyes closed. And Naruto's like, "She's giving me tongue. I wouldn't expect that from her." Oh god. This is where Naruto's like, "Hinata, you know I love you, right?" And this is where Hinata stops. It's like, "I love you too, Naruto-kun." And Naruto says, "One day we're gonna get married. I know you want that, so I'll give you what you want." Him smiling at her. So she's like, "Nothing in the world will stop me from loving you." And this is where a Hyuga member starts leaping in Neji because they're going on a mission and they decide to run into buildings. So when Naruto notices that some people see them, it's when Naruto's like, "Hinata, look down." And so he shields Hinata. So Naruto's like, this is where Naruto says, "Look down," and this is where Hinata looks down. This is where he shields her from anybody noticing. It's where Neji activates his Byakugan and sees right through Naruto, and he sees Hinata. He's like, "Hinata!" He screams, "What are you doing with this peasant?" And so where Hinata's like, "Neji?" In an innocent voice. "Neji, what are you doing here?" "I was just about to go on a mission. Now I'm informing father about this. You're with this Naruto kid." So where he's like, "So what? She's with me. What are you gonna do?" gonna be a snitch. That Byakugan seal's looking quite nice. And so he's surprised that he even knows about his seal. And so he's like, well, I guess you really want to test my patience with this girl. This girl is my bride. And if you want to battle me, you're gonna have to battle to the death. I would not give this fine specimen to you. Hinata is flattered, but she's like, Naruto, you gotta go. Neji's not. He's gonna hurt you real bad. He's like, huh, Neji, and this is where Neji comes at him with full force, angered as he's pitying him. He's like, how dare you pity me? This is where he decides to do a trigram 64 palms. A trigram 64 palms, because he's not gonna push himself to that great of extent. And while Neji's trying to hit Naruto grabs Hinata's hand and starts dancing in front of Neji, and he's literally like la-da-dee, la-da-dum, la-da-doom, dancing in front of him, disrespecting him. Neji missing all of his hit points. He's like, and this is where he's like, what's going on? So when Naruto decides to kick, and when he's almost about to do his last 64 palm, and so out of sheer willpower, he goes and palm rotation, and Hinata's like, he knows that much. How much has father taught him that he hasn't taught me? He's like, well, I guess your father has taught you well. He's like, that's none of your business. And this is when Naruto's like, you really sure about that? When he's about to punch him again, he's draining all of his chakra. He does another 64 palm, not 64 palms, a palm rotation. This time Naruto breaks it. He's like, I guess you're not as strong as you look. Naruto's like, Neji's like, what? That technique is supposed to be invincible. And this is where he's like, well, that technique isn't invincible to me. This is where he's like, you better start praying to God for the Sage of Six Paths, whichever one you believe in. This is where God of Heaven and the Sage of Six Paths are like, he's gonna start praying to me. They start having a debate. That has nothing to do with the story, but he's like, Naruto, I beg for mercy. He's like, what did you just say? Did I say you have to beg to me? And he's like, since you're so pitiful, I might as well just give you your salvation. Save you the humiliation of getting beaten. And he's like, Naruto, thank you, sir. In a pitiful voice. And he's like, I would never. And this is where he's like, I'm telling my father. No, he's not. I'm telling Hisashi. Not Hisashi. What is his name again? I forgot. He's not his father. Because Neji's her cousin. Because I remember Neji's father died. How is he doing that? And he's like, I don't remember the name. Surrender. So he's like, well, I guess, what do I do? And then this is when Naruto and Hinata's like, well, I gotta be going back. He's like, well, Hinata, I hope that you stay alright. Make sure that you don't go out that much. Do not talk to strangers. Like he's lecturing her about what she's not supposed to do. He's like, and so he's like, well, I'll make sure that I be careful. Okay, Naruto-kun? Yeah. I tell you, be careful. Or I'm gonna come to whoever's attacking you and I'm gonna rip their face off. In a nice, friendly voice. It's kind of scary. This is where he's like, well, I guess this is a goodbye. This is where he body flickers into her room. This time onto the bed. Don't get any weird ideas. Where he, not body flickers flying writing, and this is where he flying writings out. And he goes on his day. Yeah. This is where I'm not gonna do any fighting, but some Joni start following Naruto. And Naruto goes into an alley. And this is where he's like, I guess these people want to start a fight. And this is where the Joni start follow him. He's like, yeah, they want to fight. I guess they want to fight. This is where Naruto's like, good. With a sickening smile. People want to test my love to Hinata. She's the only person that ever loved me. Don't think this is about this. He's about to turn into a yandere, cause he's gonna like other girls. It's just a harem. He's like, you guys will pay, cause he knows their intentions, cause they hate the fact that Hinata, a cherry blossom, is with a demon. And he's like, Kurama, I give you full this. It's like, thanks, kid. So he's like, you're welcome. I want a demon. He's like, I guess I'm gonna be killing you guys today. And this is where Naruto says, don't kill them. Injure them. Because the third will be upset with me if I kill them. Just bruise them up, he says. This is Kurama grows nails. And like Naruto grows like eyes. He says, you got remember the nine-tailed fox? He's like, the nine tails. This is when Naruto appears behind them because one of them's trying to get away, and Kurama, and he grabs his throat, crashes him into the ground. He's like, and he spits out some spit in the anime. Like, you know in anime how they spit up spit? They're like that. This is when Naruto's like, they all like, run up the wall now! And they try to, the four that's left starts running up. And this is when Naruto appears on top of the building. He's like, cause he knows a few jutsu. He's like, fire phoenix ball jutsu. And this is where he starts going like, a phoenix comes out. He's like, and it goes straight to them. I forgot which one's phoenix. Is it the ball? Not the fireball. It's like a jutsu that creates mini fireballs that are small, and he starts spitting them out. Or it's just a phoenix one. And this is where it hits them, creating an impact. And this is where they're injured, but not heavily. They're like, they get up and like, we can defeat him. And this is where Naruto's like, And this is where he jumps down. Kurama, jumps down, and then he does a Hunter jutsu and goes into the ground. And this is where he grabs all their feet, going into KCM mode, and like literally just grabbing them toes and pulling them down. And this is where nothing but their head is left. Naruto's like, oh, brutal. what are you gonna do to their heads? He's like, you guessed it, I'm gonna pee on them. And then this is where Naruto starts laughing. You're gonna what? He's like, I'm gonna pee. And he's like, Kurama, you better go do that. They gonna smell like fox piss for years. He's like, that's right, kid. And this is where he does what he said he was, and now they're engulfed in fox piss, and it smells horrible. It's where they're like, and some guy starts drinking it. He has his mouth open because he's unconscious. He's like, and then the guy starts drinking it because he's out cold, and he's like, and if you ever smelled fox piss, it smells horrible. And he's like, I guess you guys are going back in the ground. He's like, the guy's literally gagging for air. He's like, and all the guys are stuck in a starvation of piss. And Kurama was holding that for centuries. Let's say he knew this moment was gonna happen, and he held it in for that long. He's like, I guess me holding in my piss for that long was worth it. And there's kind of like a pool of piss, kind of. Let me just say something. I know Naruto is actually a human, but gets attributes of Kurama. But when Kurama turned himself and Naruto gave him control, Kurama turned parts of Naruto's body into his body. And if you get what I mean, if you catch my drift. Oh. Why? And this is where he's like, well, I guess that's that. And this is where he walks away, and he gives Naruto back control and starts walking. And the guy's just like gargling, Naruto starts laughing. He's like, Kurama, look at you. He looks back for 1 second. He's like, Kurama, you are a monster. Wow. He's like, you really are a monster. He's like, I know, kid. Stop doing that. Stop. I'm gonna die. He's like, kid, that was the best prank. And it's the way he starts walking away. He like flying Raijins or flying Thunder Gods to his home, and he's in his bed. He can't stop laughing. This is where he goes to sleep. This is where Azumi smells the smell, and she's like, is that leftover ramen? Is that what's causing the smell? He's like, with the way she just looks. She gags. She's like, and she just looks, and she's like, wow. And she can still see the man gargling, and she's like, Naruto. This is where she decides to throw the garbage bag because her love for Naruto. She just throws it at them, like dumps the whole bit, the remainders of the garbage. Oh. And so she's like, well, these guys deserve it. If they must have hurt Naruto that bad. And so he's like, okay. This is where he's like, so let's go. This is where I'm gonna end off the video. If you really like the video, this seems very short to me, but it was 34 minutes. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Get me to 130. I'm almost there. I'm at 128. Please get me to my goal. But if you don't want to, I'm not forcing you. And I improved the sound quality because last time you guys were complaining about how it was the gameplay was too loud. Now let me just finish the game for you, cause now I'm dead. Now I have to surrender. And please have a good day, my fellow weebs.